Hi, everybody. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. How y'all doing? Come on in. Come on in. Hit the like button on your way in, please. Hello, Pisces Life. How are you? Hope everybody is doing good. So we're going to wait. We're going to wait. Hi, Cindy. How are you? Hi, Essie. How are you? Y'all doing good tonight? Hope everyone had a good day today. Good evening, Essie. Yes, it is. The drama continues, you guys. The drama continues. So y'all already know what we are here for today. We're going to give our 2 cents on this whole blame the millimeters debacle that they seem to bring up at every turn. It must be exhausting, really being them and having to do and say some of the stuff they have to do and say. Hi, Flojo. How are you? How are you? Yes, you guys. So we're gonna talk about, we know Funky Dineva used his platform and in my opinion to spread misinformation. And Destiny also used her platform, in my opinion, to accordingly. Flojo, I am doing good. It's been a good day. It's been a good day. So, I told you guys I had a video coming today, and it's so crazy because this is really what I was going to hit on. This was going to be my topic for my video today. Anyways, before I even knew that Funky Dineva had said something about Carlos King and Dr. Heavenly stopping their messy Monday due to millimeters allegedly calling her office. So I was going to do this video on just the Scotts and just like sort of kind of a deep dive on them blaming the millimeters, only to turn around and finally come out and admit that their real beef and the real issues that they were facing with Black was from the city and from their own community. So that was going to be the basis of my video today. So I didn't have to add, I didn't have to change anything. I added Destiny's live that she did today and, giving some commentary on what Funky Dineva said. So, the clip that I heard of Funky Dineva, it was very brief. He just said, basically what I just said, that Dr. Heavenly decided to stop doing Messy Monday because millimeters were calling her office. Why? That's my question. That's my first question. Why would millimeters be calling Dr. Heavenly's office? I really want to know. Sunny, how are you? Sunny Golden. Welcome to the chat. Y'all hit the like button. So, Carlos and Heavenly have said a lot on Messy Monday. And I think that they have offended people across the board. Carlos got into some trouble when he made that comment about Sweet Tea, about her having to put a baby or something on her vision board. Dr. Heavenly has spoken about her castmates. They have offended people far and wide. She has said some stuff about mail that a lot of people have disagreed with, but I don't think it prompted them to harass her at her job. I don't think it's millimeters that is calling Dr. Heavenly, and it's unfair that they continue to blame male's fan base for all this stuff. Sunny said, notice Big Mouth Heavenly did not come or say anything. She has a channel. Why did Junkie have to announce it for Heavenly? Exactly. And also, he claimed, somebody told him in his chat, I'm assuming, that she did say it out her own mouth. But I don't know. I would like to hear the soundbite of that. But it's just weird that they're using their platforms to spread all this misinformation and blaming this woman's fans base. And they are seeming like some haters. Because, Funky, where you come from? It seems like it's a pattern. After Mel does something big, or have a successful launch with Jay Bolin, she's recently had these successful TikTok lives, it's always someone coming behind that, and I feel like trying to diminish that in a way. And here comes Funky trying to say her fan base is harassing Dr. Heavenly. Like, stop it. Like, it's weird. Hi, Captain Venus. How are you? Thank you for coming by and showing some love. Y'all, if y'all listening and in chat, go show Captain Venus some love. She's a content creator. And all the other content creators that might stop by, have stopped by, y'all show them some love. You hit the nail on the head. They took it too far. Yeah, they have been. It's so weird that the millimeters are under attack from the show. And it's like they've been proven to not be the cause of a lot of stuff. And some things we're going to get into, with the Scots, and fully debunk what they said, because where was Funky to call them out? Where was Carlos to call the Scots out when they made a complete 180 and finally confessed that it was the city and the church and their neighbors that were causing them so much turmoil with their business? I didn't see anybody calling them out for lying on somebody's fan base for season after season. Cindy said Carlos sending these people is getting old. And that's what it's seeming like to me, that all of these people are in cahoots some kind of way, because it's so weird how they are willing to just flat out lie, in my opinion. I do not know who has more flying monkeys, Carlos or Martell. Carlos just has more reach. It's weird at this point, and the Scots didn't even apologize. Exactly. Where are the people to hold them accountable for the lies they have told? Where are they? Because a certain fan base wasn't the reason for them having to temporarily close. It wasn't the reason for their gambling event that they were having getting shut down. From my understanding, they didn't have the proper licensing to throw that event. And then with Black, we know they did not do their research and their homework, and they're able to pawn their shortcomings off on everybody else. So you guys, first, to start this off, we're going to go ahead and we're going to listen to this clip from Destiny. She just did this live over on TikTok a few hours ago. And this girl actually had the nerve to compare the cast businesses, specifically Black, because someone in her chat, let me just set the scene, someone in Destiny's chat asked her, was Black still open or was it closed? And she went on this whole tangent and had the nerve to compare Black being closed to the bombing that occurred in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. So y'all listen to this. It's only a couple minutes long. And we're going to come back and talk about this. And the Scots didn't even apologize. Yeah, we read that. So y'all listen to Destiny.
Oklahoma and what happened to Black Wall Street. Like, those are all Black businesses that got literally bombed. Like, I could cry talking about it. Bombed by people that did not want them to be there, did not want to support them. They had banks, they had grocery stores, they had schools, they had churches, and we are Black business owners. We are literally living our ancestors' dreams. And y'all make fun of people having to close down their business. Y'all make fun of them having to do, their due diligence and fight harder than any other business in the city. Like, that's not funny. It's just not funny to me. Like, it's a whole community of black people that were killed literally just for owning businesses. And then you have businesses now that are on television by black owners, and we just gotta do better. We gotta do better. We gotta do better. I want everybody to win. People that I don't even like, I still want them to win. I still bought their products and supported them because I know how hard it is to be in this space. I know how hard it is to live out your dreams. Like, it's just not funny to me. It's not funny to me at all. It's not funny what I see people doing to people on YouTube with their businesses and their families. Like, it's just not funny to me. People are really affected. Yes, baby. People are really affected, and it's hard. Like, it ain't easy. Working for somebody else ain't easy. Imagine working for yourself and everything's on your shoulders. How those people eat is on your shoulders. So we can't laugh at people's pain or anything that they may go through. I did. I'm sorry if you didn't leave a laughing emoji. That's what I thought I saw. But I just got real passionate. So if that doesn't apply to you, then it doesn't apply. But to the people that it does apply to, from the heart, like, it ain't funny. It ain't nothing funny about it at all. So if you weren't, I apologize. I am never too big to say I'm wrong, but I thought I saw a laughing emoji. But yes, Black is very open. If you didn't see Black Neek, those people couldn't fit at Black. That's why they had to, go to a whole new space that could fit thousands of people in literally the whole African American city of Huntsville. All the African Americans in Huntsville were there. So yeah. Yeah.
So, Destiny, what are you saying, girl? I'm going to need you to know what you are speaking on before you use your platform to spread misinformation and to gaslight the people. Sunny says she and Martell should try for a 2-for-1 special at the Psyche Val. Her mental health Mondays failed miserably. Lori says she took it to a whole different level. They just asked if they were open to close. Exactly. The person, I tried to find the comment, but that was the person that followed up, I believe, Cutie Pie, who said I didn't have a laughing face emoji. Like, I wasn't joking or thinking it was funny, because no, I don't think it's funny when people have to close their businesses down and lose their livelihoods. But let's keep it real and let's have these adults accept accountability, because it was no one's fault, the trouble and the issues that the Scotts ran into, but their own. And we're going to get into that in detail more in this live. And then also, I found it weird that she chose Tulsa to be a comparison to what the cast members are experiencing, because it wasn't just their community didn't want them there. It was a whole conspiracy. The government, who you think were bombing? Their neighbors didn't have access to planes to bomb them. So it wasn't just the community. And the number one fact you left out, you said that they didn't want them there and they didn't want them owning businesses. Baby, it was because they were Black. That was the whole thing. It was a Black community that was thriving. So that was basically a race war. It was one-sided, but it was a race war. They wanted to eliminate those Black successful people that truly was showing the world what Black excellence looked like. Not you guys and not the Scots, okay? So you're weird for bringing that up. It's no comparison at all. You sound crazy, and I'm going to need you to start thinking before you speak on your platform, because you do have thousands of followers, okay? And these people are scary to me. Destiny, the Scots, Funky, Dineva, Carlos, they are scary, because not only do y'all lie with a bold face, y'all are sitting here trying to rewrite history. blaming everybody. And then when somebody in Destiny's chat called her out and said she was gaslighting the people because the Scots were closed down by the health department temporarily, and she's trying to make it seem like it's just people out in the world or fans of the show that just hate the Scots or just calling to get them shut down, and that's not true. And she told that person, I'm going to block you. She basically said she was blocking that person because they said she was gaslighting the people. You know, so you're weird. It was definitely a genocide. It was a racist genocide orchestrated by the government. Destiny needs to stop with the twisted history and false equivalency. Exactly, please. Because it was no comparison to Black Wall Street and the many other Lake Lanier, Central Park up in New York. All of those were thriving Black communities. And I'm gonna need her to stop trying to compare the fact that the Scots didn't do their fucking homework and they had issues because they were trying to force their way into a community where they knew the type of business they wanted to run was not possible. So Destiny is delusional and she's trying to rewrite history. You're scary, girl. You scare me every time you get on live and you open your damn mouth. You're scary. So let's go ahead and get into Black in the Scots and debunking them, even though we know they have said the community was giving them the grief. So, you guys, these documents, if you are familiar with my channel, you may have seen a video. I'm going to link it in the description after I post this live. But I spoke on this real briefly and I only showed a paragraph. These are the meetings from the Huntsville zoning board, who has basically, it's not even them causing issues for the Scots. It's the Scots trying to slick their way in. It's Marcel trying to slick his way into this community and to get them to change rules and policies that have stood for over 10 years. Okay, so I spoke real briefly on the minutes, but we're going to go ahead and get into this so we can get a bigger picture of what happened and why the Scots faced so much trouble when it came to opening Black. So like I said, this is the document. You can see it says the Board of Zoning Adjustment. And these are the documents from May 19th, 2020. And this had to do when he was requesting the right to sell alcohol. So here is public information. Anybody can go look this up, okay? So we see down there where the red arrow is. It has the case number and it has the address to Black, which is the 4206. So it says a use variance to allow alcohol sales. Maurice Scott of Black LLC, appellate, I'm going to call him Mr. B, stated that the location of the property, Mr. C, stated this request will require the use variance to allow a Class 1 lounge liquor retailer without package sales in a neighborhood C2 zoning district. Now, we're going to get into what that means. It says Marcel Scott of Black LLC appeared before the board and stated he purchased the shopping center. Okay, he purchased that shopping center uptown to revitalize it. In one of the units, he would like to turn into a cigar lounge with alcohol sales. Mr. Scott stated he will have the kitchen in the future. However, he's requesting the variance, right? So remember I said we were going to get into exactly what it meant to be a C. Hold on. He has a Class 1 lounge liquor retailer license, right? So right here at the top, that is a license top. Excuse me, y'all. That is a license type that he has, and it's up there. It says Class 1. It says that the fee is around $300. Okay. So then they said he is in a C2 zoning district, and this was their biggest issue. Okay. So we see over here to the right, and it has in Huntsville, Alabama, a C2 zoning is a neighborhood business. Hold on, you guys. The StreamYard logo is in my way. It is a business. Why can't I take that down? It is a business C2 district that allows for small shops, restaurants, offices, and billboards. Okay. So that was his biggest issue. That was Marcel's biggest issue. He did not do his homework. He purchased this building. I'm assuming they got a great deal on the whole plaza because he purchased it, in my opinion, without doing his homework. The area where Black is, they do not allow for what he wanted. He wanted a cigar lounge, something, close to a club. That's not the area where those type of businesses go. Okay. So that's why he had an issue even being allowed to sell alcohol. And also the later issue they're claiming where he's saying he's being denied the right to expand. So we see right here in the middle column, it says, well, they don't really go down there. We're going to go to Bulletin A because we know it's a liquor license. And Bulletin A says a class 1, which is what Marceau was seeking, will permit the licensee to sell alcohol beverages for on-premises and off-premises consumption. All sales for off-premises consumption shall be in original, unopened containers. Okay? So now we know. Sonny said instead of a kitchen, they put in the boom boom back room. Businessman instead of businessman. Because he wanted them to know he was going to put that kitchen in because they're going to tell him that it needs to be a restaurant. Okay. So we see right here, you guys, we're going to y'all can read it. I'm going to skim through it. Okay. It says Marceau was seeking for the board to grant a variance for the alcohol sales until he can build a kitchen. So he bought a location knowing he was going to even have to build the kitchen, right? Dr. B asked if this was a restaurant, and Mr. C stated for a restaurant retail liquor license, the sales would have to be 50% more of the sales for the establishment. Mr. Scott stated that he would be building a restaurant on the end unit next to the cigar lounge. It says the chairman S asked if the unit would always have liquor sales. Mr. Scott stated yes. Mr. C asked for clarification on the temporary variance for alcohol sales. Mr. C stated there is no history. Okay. And then Mr. C says they asked for clarification of the zoning for the property, right? So then they stated that the property is in a neighborhood business C2 and lounges are not permitted until general business C3 zoning district. Okay. So lounges weren't even permitted where they are. And then it says, Ms. Lee asked if there is a history in the neighborhood where business C2 for lounges being approved. Mr. C stated no. However, this use is different from previous requests. Okay. So we're going to skim through that. So a lounge is not even supposed to be there. It's not like people are picking on Marceau and them for their lounge. No, that type of establishment is not even supposed to be there, right? So then we're going to go down here where it says Officer Hollingsworth, who was present at the zoning meeting, stated that the police department cannot support the approval of this request due to the close proximity to the residential neighborhood and the fact that there is no history for such a request. Okay. The officer also stated this would set a precedent for other establishments to be allowed in the C2 zoning district. Ms. Ford asks when the last time the zoning ordinance for alcohol was updated for the zone that Black is in. An officer stated he believes it was updated 10 years ago, you guys. So this ordinance has been around for over 10 years, and Marceau thinks they're just supposed to make an exception for him because he didn't do his homework to see what type of establishments were allowed in that zone. Okay? They're also saying, hey, if we let him do it, that's opening the door for anybody else to come and do it. So here's where Marceau was getting some support from Councilman Devin Keefe, right down here in the second paragraph. It says Councilman Devin Keefe appeared before the board and stated that he believes if the board were to approve this variance request, this will help with the improvement occurring in this area. It says Councilman Keefe also stated that this development mimics the same revitalization occurring over there in the low mill mixed use development area. So Devin Keefe was saying, hey, it will help to us trying to build up this surrounding area. And they're saying, okay. And they're saying, if we approve this, how do we keep it from staying a lounge? Because remember, lounges are not permitted. And they also stated that if he would change it over to a restaurant, then he would not have to worry about coming before the board to be able to sell the alcohol, right? So they're telling them that they can put certain type of where is it? Stated development mimics the chairman, neighbor, well, the applicant, commercial. They basically said that they can put stipulations in to make sure that Marceau doesn't keep the business as a lounge and make sure that he turns it over into a restaurant. So it says, Mr. Cummins stated that the legal department said temporary alcohol sales would not be supported. That's what the police officer said. And they asked if they use the variance can be granted for certain time frames, would there be a way to regulate this variance? And they said if after a 3-year time frame would be sufficient. Mr. Scott stated he would do everything in his power to comply with all laws and regulations so they can maintain the variance, right? And we know, hey, what's Marceau's word? Would he really try to keep his word? So it says, Mr. C stated that the board has the authority to put stipulations in place to prevent this from staying a lounge. Ms. Lee asked if this request is similar to what is being done at SIP. Mr. Scott stated yes. Mr. Scott also stated he has installed a lot of kitchen facilities and appliances have been paid for. The chairman stated if this appellant changes his license to a restaurant, he would not have to appear before the board. The chairman also stated if the appellant were to continue this matter for 30 days, then they would have the opportunity to evaluate. So then Marceau requested a continuance for 30 days, and they approved the 30-day continuance. So they were never supposed to be in that section of the city with a lounge in the first place. Hence why they were running into so many problems. So they said instead of a kitchen, they put in a boom boom room. Wait, so was it not just the church? The police department objected to the lounge? Yes. The police department objected to the sale of alcohol because they said lounges were not even permitted in this section, you guys. So this is when he was first trying to open Black and he was trying to get the right to sell alcohol. But we went over that he is in a C2, what they refer to as a C2 zoning district. Right here on the right, it lets us know that the C2 zone is for neighborhood businesses such as small shops and restaurants, offices, and billboards. So lounges and clubs and bars and things like that are not permitted in that area, which is why he was running into that. So the police department did say they could not support it as it was. As him being a lounge, they couldn't support it, right? So they gave him 30 days to think about it and let him know if he were to change his license over to a restaurant, then he would be permitted to sell alcohol. And I'm assuming that's what he ended up doing. Okay. So then let's go here, because the next we hear from them at the board for the zoning, this document was in June. So this was the 30 days after, right? So we see right there, it says the use of variance to allow alcohol sales, Marcel Scott and Black LLC. Mr. B stated the location of the property. Mr. C stated the request will require a use of a variance to allow the alcohol with, and then they said the chairman stated the request has been withdrawn. So at this point, I believe Marceau figured it was easier to change it over into a restaurant, so he didn't have to deal with the board when it came to selling alcohol, right? So it's not even technically a lounge anymore, you guys. He changed it to a restaurant. So then here comes into play with the expansion, and when them saying that the board is trying to hinder them from expanding Black. So we see now in March of 2021 on the agenda, it says a special exception to allow patio seating in a neighborhood business C2 zoning district at 4206 Oakwood Ave. It says Marceau Scott and Letitia Scott of Black LLC. Now, I don't think the minutes are not yet available, because when I searched for them, they weren't there. So these were just what was on the agenda, right? So, and then in June of 2024, it says down here, a special exception to allow the expansion of patio seating. So they're trying to go to the board to get patio seating. And then you see they refer to it as a restaurant on the June 2024 agenda. A special exception to allow the expansion of patio seating at an existing restaurant. So Black is not even a lounge. It's a restaurant now at this point. So then we see on Facebook, Marceau posted the video of the plans they had for Black, and we see Letitia down there in the comments, and she said, "Oh, but they don't want this in North Huntsville. They say it will be better on the other side of town." Well, girl, y'all moved into an area where the type of business, the parties y'all want to throw, they're not allowed over there, ma'am. What part of that don't they understand? It's nobody's fault that they went and purchased this building in an area where they want to party, but it's not allowed. So who really was at fault? Is it the community? Because now they're trying to make it seem like Huntsville is just against them. When no, y'all are trying to change the whole, y'all think zoning is supposed to be changed for y'all because y'all bought this building. Y'all think they supposed to say, bump all these rules and regulations, bump how the city has the zoning designed. We're going to let this Black couple open up their lounge and expand. And then my thing is, it's more than patio seating, Marcel, because in that agenda, they said you guys wanted just to extend patio. Y'all wanted to just design a patio. But look at the video where he posted on social media. That's more than just patio seating. So that's probably why they were denied for the expansion, because you're telling half truths. That's more than what he put in for. And they probably know that Marcel and them are still trying to turn that into a club and just use the word lounge to make it sound better. But they basically want to be there partying all night, drinking, have people all out in the parking lot, playing loud music. That's a club. And now y'all classified as a restaurant. So of course people are going to be objecting to what you got going on, based on their lives hanging out at Black parking lot with crowds, alcohol, and loud music. Neighborhood nuisance. It is a nuisance, because you're in the wrong place, is what they have been saying from day one. And so on another post, he's trying to say it cost them close to $1 million because they basically can't do what they want at this location. That's why you go out and scout locations, Marceau. That's why you go out and you speak to neighboring businesses beforehand. That's why you make sure that the zoning and everything is coincides with which your business will be. If you knew you wanted a lounge, aka a cigar lounge, aka a club, you should have put it in an area where that type of establishment was allowed. You can't just purchase land and then think you're going to be able to turn it into whatever you want to turn it into because you purchased it. No, the city has things in place, and that's why these zoning ordinance, that's why they exist. So I just found it so weird that Funky Dineva even, said that people, the millimeters, were calling around to the county and to the city to get black closed down. No, they didn't. Because people don't have that much power. If you have a legitimate business, you have your business license, you have your alcohol license, and you are not over capacity, what would they be shutting you down for? And I don't even know, you guys. I thought I put it up here. Okay, I did. So I did a video on this too where I asked was black clothes, because Funky Dineva stated that people were calling around getting them closed. But as everyone can see, this is a official government site. It's the Alabama Public Health Department, you guys. Black was on the listing of establishments that were closing. Okay. And when we see the reason, and like again, whether they were closed for 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day, they were still on this list to be closed by their state health department. And it says right there down there in black and white that the purpose was for a unsecured grease trap manhole cover. So how are you blaming millimeters and fans of the show for Marceau's NIM issue when it's clear as day? They didn't have their issue in order. They didn't do their homework from the jump. They are trying to infiltrate this neighborhood that does not allow for clubs and lounges, and they want the city officials to just change stuff that has stood for over 10 years. They said the ordinance has not been updated for at least 10 years. So they're just supposed to make a special exception for you because you're Marceau Scott. It doesn't work like that. And it's weird that for the longest they have blamed millimeters. And then when he finally came out with it, he couldn't hide it no more because he wanted to start publicly bashing the church people. He finally admitted that the community were who they were fighting. And nobody is holding them accountable for lying from the jump. Where is that accountability, Funky, with your ashy face ass? Where is that accountability? Dusty sitting up here comparing this to Black Wall Street being bombed. You're delusional and you're a weirdo, right along with everybody else. And we're going to keep debunking y'all stuff on YouTube, because she said it's wrong what people do on YouTube. And I can only think she's speaking about people debunking and shedding light on their lies. We're going to continue to do that because y'all continue to lie on y'all platforms. So we're going to expose the truth on ours. Stop hating on Mel and her fan base. It's weird. So y'all, that's really all I have for this video. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank y'all so much for coming over here and joining me. And yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.